A sigh isn't just a sigh. We inhale the world and breathe out the meaning. While we can. Anyone who reads my work will see that there are often difficult relationships between fathers and sons. Reality is a question of perspective. Vertigo is the conflict between the fear of falling and the desire to fall. Children are the vessels into which adults pour their poison. I do not accept my condition, I will strive to change it, but I inhabit it, I am trying to learn from it. Now I know what a ghost is. Unfinished business, that's what. I hate admitting that my enemies have a point. Sometimes legends make a reality, and become more useful than the facts. Realism can break a writer's heart. One of the extraordinary things about human events is that the unthinkable becomes thinkable. Doubt, it seems to me, is the central condition of a human being in the 20th century. I don't dictate to anyone what to believe and what not to. And I don't want that to be dictated to me either. How do you defeat terrorism? Don't be terrorized. You can take the boy out of Bombay, you can't take Bombay out of the boy, you know. To read a 600-page novel and then say that it has deeply offended you, well, you have done a lot of work to be offended. Reality is a question of perspective. Once you put a thought into the world, it can be disagreed with, but it can't be unthought. The glamour of being forbidden must not be underestimated. Home is the place where you feel happy. You can't judge an internal injury by the size of the hole. Perhaps the story you finish is never the one you begin. Our lives, our stories, flowed into one another's, were no longer our own, individual, discrete. A photograph is a moral decision taken in 1/8 of a second. There is no such thing as perfect security, only varying levels of insecurity. We were language's magpies by nature, stealing whatever sounded bright and shiny. Memory is a way of telling you what's important to you. Ignorantly is how we all fall in love, for it is a kind of fall. Meanwhile, it seems, the world is suffering from compassion fatigue. Even when things are at their worst, there's a little voice in your head saying, "Good story." Whenever someone who knows you disappears, you lose one version of yourself. To understand just one life, you have to swallow the world. Always go for the broken and try hard. In the cookie of life, friends are the chocolate chips. Both are responsible. But I know when I write a book it's my name on the book, so I stand or fall by what I sign. And so must she. For every snake, there is a ladder, for every ladder, a snake. One of the problems with defending free speech is you often have to defend people that you find to be outrageous and unpleasant and disgusting. Liberate yourself, because no one else is going to liberate you. Masks beneath masks until suddenly the bare bloodless skull. An attack upon our ability to tell stories is not just censorship, it is a crime against our nature as human beings. The only people who see the whole picture are the ones who step out of the frame. What's real and what's true aren't necessarily the same. Few topographical boundaries can rival the frontiers of the mind. If my child had prejudice in his head, I'd be ashamed. I would see it as my failure as a parent. I learned, the first lesson of my life, nobody can face the world with his eyes open all the time. If somebody's trying to shut you up, sing louder, and if possible, better. The world, somebody wrote, is the place we prove real by dying in it. Life is elsewhere. Cross frontiers. Fly away. If you're offended, it's your problem. The lessons one learns at school are not always the ones the school thinks it's teaching.